Good afternoon, Knicks Nation. Happy Thanksgiving to those that celebrate the holiday. I hope you're all safe and healthy today, and that you and your family is safe and healthy, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, who work along with the first responders every day, including Thanksgiving, to save lives, and those that pick up garbage for us to keep our streets and sidewalks and places clean and disease-free, and those also that make deliveries of food and water and things like Amazon and things like UPS for our convenience, and FedEx, blessings upon them as well. And those also double blessings on the people out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover the teenagers and children who are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia. The victims also of prostitution and child prostitution. The victims also of pornography, child pornography, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators of these things. Double curses on those that profit from these things. Double curses on the perverts that create the industry for these things. Finally, double blessings on the homeless ones. Almost 600,000 men, women, children, increasingly senior citizens on the streets of the United States, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessed upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. I decided to do a quick video today, Thanksgiving video. Before I go and do my work, I'm going to try to get a good workout in after I finish this video, to try to make myself feel good about some of the stuff I'm going to eat later. And so y'all enjoy also. Be safe out there and enjoy, and I'm looking forward to it myself. But I want to do a quick video. I noticed last night, I like to scout, as some of y'all know, I like to scout teams right before the Knicks get ready to play them, see where they at, see what they look like, and what the Knicks would be doing to beat them. Last night I looked at, and of course, I looked at Miami. Last night they played Cleveland. Miami spanked Cleveland last night. Now, the thing is, I noticed is that Cleveland was on the second night of a back-to-back. Cleveland did not have Donovan Mitchell or Isaac Okoro, and Miami did not have Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo was hurt with a hip injury, and so that's why he was out last night. And so, but Miami was manhandling Cleveland. But again, it's important to understand the effect of back-to-backs. This Miami has only played 2 back-to-backs so far this year. They lost 2 in a row in the one, and then they won 2 in a row in second back-to-back. So this will be against the Knicks. This will be the first of a back-to-back, their third back-to-back of the season. Whereas we know the Knicks have already played 4 back-to-backs. Okay, and Miami is going into December after this with 2 more, and then they're going to have more in January, and then March is really going to be their toughest month in terms of the schedule. When you look at the back-to-back, you look at the schedule. So there's going to be a lot of factors in play here. And as I was mentioning yesterday, and I've mentioned it before, many people call it an excuse. But again, I think that's a cheap, cursory, and unreally informed way to look at some of these things. Back-to-backs mean something. They take energy from a team. And especially if you're on a back-to-back on the road, or if you're on a back-to-back where one game is on the road and one game at home where you have to travel, it takes something out of you. Okay, all back-to-backs are tough, but those are really tough. So Miami is now going to be traveling to New York to play the Knicks on Friday, and then they really don't have to travel after that, as they're going to play Brooklyn the next night. But it's a back-to-back, see? And so with that in mind, the Knicks now being rested. Now, right now, Bam Adebayo is listed. Let's take a look here. He won't play. He didn't play last night. He has a hip soreness in the hip, but and Tyler Hero is out. So they have, and then Kevin Love is out. So there's some issues they have now. This Thanksgiving weekend is a good week for them. Week is a good week for them to heal, just like the Knicks. For the Knicks, Quentin Grimes is feeling 100%. For the Knicks, Deuce McBride is going to the G League to get some reps along with Jeffries. So whenever they've in the past sent Deuce out like that, they want to make sure he's fresh, make sure he gets reps. You heard already that Obi's brother, Jacob, went off the other night in G League, 37 points. But now you're going to have him with Jeffries, who's, serious. He's an NBA player, and they put him in G to get reps. And Deuce, it'd probably be fun to watch. I don't know when their next game is, but it's gonna be fun to watch the Westchester Knicks for the next couple of days with these dudes going down there. They're gonna be spanking somebody, so that's gonna be fun. But that being the case, the Knicks are fully healthy going into Friday's game. Fully healthy. Miami better have Bam Adebayo for that game. I suspect he'll play. Maybe not play the second night of that back-to-back, but he should play Friday. If they don't, I like our chances, put it that way. Because Mitchell Robinson is a difference maker. Because last night, when they played last night against Cleveland, they had gone Miami. They had dudes looking like all stars. That's really, it was ridiculous. It was like they were doing just like they did last year. A whole bunch of no names going off and doing their thing. So Kyle Lowry had 28 points, which was his season high. Kyle Lowry's the tail end, and his season high. They had Duncan Robinson. They had Highsmith. They had a couple of guys. Caleb Martin and this guy named Robinson, a rookie. They got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys double figures. It was ridiculous last night. Miami was really going off, held in 96 points. But again, Cleveland on the second night of a back-to-back, no Donovan Mitchell, no Isaac Okoro. So that's what I'm saying. People that trip out when the Knicks lose a game on the road or they lose a game on the back-to-back, you need to consider these things before you start tripping, okay? Because this is the league, and this is what happens. So when the Cleveland, you could see, I'm watching the game last night. Garland was playing hard. Evan Mobley was playing hard, but he just didn't have the legs. Again, it happens. And they'll get a day of rest, and then they'll come back. Jarrett Allen was totally fatigued. You could see it, okay? And so that you see these things, and then a lot of your bench pieces get more time because your starters are just tired. Your rotation is just tired. This is going to happen. But that's why I'm bringing this out to say the Knicks have already played 4 back-to-backs. Okay? They've already played 4. And they're going to play 2 more in December. And they're going to, again, they're going to be 9 games on the road. The road is tough. But the back-to-backs are the crazy thing. So the Knicks are going to play 9 games in a row. They come already out of 4 back-to-backs, and they're 8-6. Okay, some of these teams are going to pull back because the harder part of their schedule is coming up. Whereas the Knicks started off hard. Some of these guys are going to pull back. And this is going to be a test for some of them. The only team right now that I could say we're pretty confident that they started off well and they might be able to continue is Orlando. Orlando has already had 3 or 4 back-to-backs, and they're 10-5. Okay, they're just. Look, I think y'all could bear witness. I was telling you, Orlando's going to be good. Paolo Banchero is the real deal, and they finally, I think they've settled on Jalen Suggs as their starting point guard, and he's looking like he's matured enough now to take that role. I liked him coming out of Gonzaga. I liked him before he went to Gonzaga, coming out of high school. Him and Jaden Springer, that's in Philly. Both of them were big, strong kids coming out of high school. But Suggs looked good coming out of Gonzaga. Well, here he comes now. So they just beat the Nuggets last night, and that was their 5th straight win. Okay, and they've won 6 out of their last 7. Orlando is looking good now. They got to play the Celtics. When they play the Celtics this weekend, they play the Celtics in Orlando. I think looks like they play the Celtics on the 24th. They're playing the Celtics on the 24th, which is tomorrow. But they ain't no joke. They ain't no joke. So Orlando is probably, because they've already had, I think I said, they had like 3 back-to-backs already. So I like Orlando, but some of these guys, like Miami, they might pull back. We'll see what Milwaukee does. Boston hasn't had the toughest part of their schedule yet. Whereas, like I said, I like the way the Knicks are looking going forward here. December's going to be tough. Like I said, you got 9 road games, 2 back-to-backs. It's going to be tough. I still like them to come out of December with a winning record. but they're going to get better as January, February, and March come. Whereas some of these teams, between this grinding of the schedule, there's a grind, and injuries, are going to pull back. The thing is, and this is what a lot of people don't look at. See, again, I mentioned a Chet Holmgren, a Victor Wembanyama. It's not just the tremendous amount of talent that they have, which is obvious. They have, top 300 player in the world, talent. But you got to be able to grind. You got to be able to grind. The NBA schedule is an 82 game grind. You got to have both the talent and the grind. So you look at a Cam Reddish. To me, Cam Reddish coming out of Duke was the best of that triplets of Zion, RJ, and Cam. I liked him in terms of a long-term pro, or based on his skill level, prodigious talent. Somebody said, well, why didn't you say Zion? Well, Zion was, as y'all know, he was 280 pounds. I didn't know if his body could take the grind. RJ was going to be a tough kid. I didn't know he would be able to bully ball grown men, which he has already obviously proven he could do. And he might be the best of the three now. But Cam couldn't take the grind. That was the problem. Cam has the talent to play with anybody in the world, but you got to take the grind. Okay? It's an 82 game grind. So when you're looking at games, let's say the Knicks lose and somebody says, well, they got outplayed us. Somebody, please look longer term than just that game. Look at how many games did they play recently. Look at, is it a back-to-back? Is it on the road? Was it on a fifth game of a 5-game road trip in 7 days, which is what happened in Minnesota on Monday? Then you know what? The best team won Monday, but that don't mean they're the best team. The grind will tell you who's best. This is why I like the Knicks. Tom Thibodeau's guys come to camp in shape. Like I said, it's like Miami. You can't play unless you come in shape, okay? And you better play some defense. So that's the staple of Tibbs, which is why later in the season, when other teams start pulling back, because now they get into the tough part of their season. They get into their 5-game road trip in 7 days. They get into their injury situations, and they got to depend on their depth. They get into their group of back-to-backs coming at them. That's when you're going to start to see who is real. When you get to April, you want to be playing your best ball. That's what I'm saying. People were tripping in October on the Knicks. And I'm like, you don't make the playoffs in October. You make the playoffs in April. You want to make your best ball in April. That's what you want. I'm liking where we at. So this game on Friday is going to be a pivotal game. The only thing that I would say would make it not is if Bam Adebayo does not play. If Bam Adebayo does not play, I like the Knicks in that game, especially with Mitchell Robinson playing out of his mind right now. I like the Knicks in that game. But if Bam plays, which I'm expecting him to be there for that one, like I said, he may not be there for the second night of that back-to-back. I'm expecting him to be there Friday night. So if they have Bam on Friday night, who else they had hurt? They had a few injuries, but if they get Bam on Friday night with their other contingent, Caleb Martin is playing just as good as he did last year. I think it's going to be a really good preview game. This is the first time they would have played, I think, since the playoffs. This is the first time Miami and New York would have played since last year's playoff. So you're going to have, and of course, you're going to have Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's going to be there. So but you may not have Kevin Love, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero. Well, then again, they didn't have Tyler Hero last year. They kind of went the distance to the finals without him. See? So we'll see what happens. But they're going to have Jimmy Butler, and it's going to be really interesting. The game within the game, to me, if everybody's playing, is Jimmy Butler and RJ Barrett. That's going to be the game. Because I've been saying RJ is Jimmy Butler 2.0. Now RJ's grown into a man. It's going to be interesting to see them go at it. I'm not going to watch the game live, but I'm going to watch, obviously, the highlight of the game. But that's going to be an interesting matchup. Jimmy Butler and RJ Barrett. The man, now the boy that's become a man, coming at each other. It's going to be good. But like I said, if they don't have Bam, I like the Knicks in that game. If they do have Bam, it's going to be a battle. It doesn't matter if it's Miami or Madison Square Garden. if they was in Miami, still be a Knicks, practically a half Knicks home game anyway. So it's going to be battling regardless. It's going to be a good game though. But I like us in that game. I want to see what the injury report looks like tomorrow for Miami coming into New York to play. But the Knicks are fully healthy. So healthy, in fact, like I said, they sent Deuce and they sent Jeffries to the G League. And they brought up Windler, which probably won't play, but that's just for the roster. But the Knicks are healthy. The Knicks come off this tough part of their schedule. I want to see what they look like Friday. It's going to be very interesting. I like the way they're looking right now. We're going forward, And then again, like I said, December is going to be a whole nother story, but we'll deal with that then. For now, I like what we're looking like right here. Let's go Knicks. Y'all enjoy your Thanksgiving. Be safe. Sure.